Hi, I'm Nick Jaynes, Director of Communications for Overland Expo, and this is how to air down your tire. There are two good reasons to air down your tires. First and foremost is comfort, and then there's grip. Well, I guess that actually is more important, isn't it? Airing down from, say, 42 PSI, which you probably ride on the highway, down to, say, 25, that gives you a little bit more comfort. That's where I ride up. As soon as I get off the trail, I hit about 25 PSI. That allows the sidewalls to flex a little more and doesn't send all the vibrations up into the cabin. Anything below that, though, then you're starting to get into grip territory. There's a good range in there, and there's no hard, fast rules because there's a lot of different variations that can play into which level of PSI you would want and when. And more than I care to list here, and more than, frankly, that I actually know, because it has to do with atmospheric pressure, the temperature outside, temperature of your tires, the sidewall size of your tire, I mean, I could go on and on. But a good range for grip in mud and rock and things of that nature is 22 to 18. How to get there? Well, you'll need a deflator. There's a lot of different styles. There are ones that you put on all four and set it and forget it and walk away, and those are cutesy, but they don't work as reliably. They're kind of difficult to deal with. Ones that you can put inside of your tire, rim, things of that nature. I don't mess with those. I just stick with the good old-fashioned clip-on style. There's also the screw-on style as well. I prefer clip because it works virtually the same and is, a couple minutes faster. Why does airing down improve grip? Well, it increases the contact patch of the tire, both width and, more importantly, lengthwise. It gives you a couple more inches of grip, and the more tire on the ground means more grip, of course, but also it allows the sidewalls to flex a little bit more. So let's say you're driving through some rocks, through some ruts, whatever, and there's a pretty sharp rock sticking out of the trail. It can rub up against your sidewall and it doesn't gouge it, because otherwise if it were real hard at 42 PSI, it'd be like bumping up against a brick wall and might gouge it, cut it. Lets it mold around it a little more. So, to air down, you want to get one of these bad boys, again, like the clip-on style. Take off the valve cover cap, right? And then you clip this on over it, or screw it down, depending on what style you like. And then you have the plunger come down onto the valve stem core, and then you'll unscrew it. It's going to take more unscrewing than you think. I've been there 10, 12, 20. Sometimes you just need to seat it right, get it out. Once it's out, remove the plunger, pulls that core out. Then this whole thing is all holding all the pressure, takes the place of that core. Then you pull this plunger here and let air out slowly. Check the pressures as you go, because you'll have to sit here and hold it. It's going to make a horrible hissing sound. Just get used to it. And check the pressure by letting go. Because the pressure up here, when you're letting air out, it's going to be all wonky. It's not going to be the real pressure. Don't worry about that. Let go, let it settle for a second. That's your pressure. Get down to maybe 22, 18, wherever you feel comfortable. Don't go below 15 though. Unless you have bead locks, which you probably don't, unless you're an extreme rock crawler, and you probably already know how to do all of this then, you run the risk of popping a bead. And you don't want to try to reseat a tire on the trail. It can be dangerous and very, very difficult. So just don't mess with it. It's really not going to improve your grip that much more if you go to 10 than you say at 18. Once you got down to the pressure you like, push this back in. It's got the stem core in it. Twist it back down. Get it real tight. Get it real tight, because if you don't get it absolutely seated, you can leak as you're driving down the road, the trail, and you can lose in PSI and then risk popping the bead like we just discussed. Or worse yet, if you don't get it seated at all, and I've seen this before, you unclip it and pow! The core goes flying across the trail, the scenery. You'll never find it again. That's another good reminder. No matter what you're doing out there, if you're a novice or you're a highly experienced overlander, you're going to want to also have a tire repair kit. Not only because you're probably going to puncture sidewalls at some point, moreover, that's got spare cores in it, because you may lose that core, you may damage the core because you're doing this a lot of unscrewing, a lot of reseating. It's fine, don't worry about it. They're cheap, get it, you'll be happier with it on board. Finally, when you are done and you're ready to hit the trail or hit the highway again from the trail, you want to be able to air back up. You don't want to just try to drive to the nearest gas station and use their air compressor, because driving on the highway at low PSI could really damage your tire. Moreover, it's a real safety hazard, because you could, again, blow out a tire roll on the highway. You don't want any of that. So go get a nice compressor, ARB, Viair. These are good brands, be it onboard built-in or one that's portable, whatever. So sort of to recap here, you air down for comfort, you air down for grip, you put air back in for safety, and don't worry about it too much. 22, 18, there's no exact science, but your vehicle, take it safe. Your vehicle's traction control system will know what to do and get you through safely. If you want to learn more about this and other overlanding topics, please come to an Overland Expo or go to overlandexpo.com. Thanks for watching.